Hi, this is Joy Morin from the Color in My Piano blog. I've wanted to create this video today to show you how you can use music fonts to create music worksheets using a simple program called Microsoft Publisher. Microsoft Publisher belongs in the Microsoft Office suite, which you may find that you already own and is on your computer. And so it works very well for worksheets. And on the Mac, there is no Microsoft Publisher as a separate piece of software, but it's kind of combined with Microsoft Word. And so my program may look different from anyone who has a PC, but for those of you on the Mac, if you're in the Publishing Layout view, you'll have this button selected. And to toggle back to the traditional Microsoft Word processing side, then you press this. So for worksheets, it works really well to be in Microsoft Publisher. Okay, so to start with my worksheet, I'll just get some text files going to create a title for my worksheet. I'm going to hit center, bold. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, and I'm just going to put music worksheet. Okay, and then I'm going to put another text box for the student to put their name. Okay. The two music fonts that I want to show you today are free to download, and I'll have the links for you about that. I've blogged about them. And they're both rhythm fonts, and they work really well for any kind of rhythm-related worksheet that you might have. So I'm creating a text box here for the directions, and I think I'm going to make a rhythm worksheet where the student has to draw bar lines into the example. So draw bar lines in the rhythm example below. Okay, apparently Microsoft Word thinks that this should be two separate words. Okay, in this text box, I made it nice and large. I'm going to use a music font called MusiSync. I just typed it in there. And the nice thing about this music font is that you can press like the Q button on your keyboard to get a quarter note, and you can see that it's very small, so I'm going to need to make this a lot bigger. There we go. I'll jump up to 48. Quarter note is just, the letter Q is just the quarter note. If I hit shift to make a capital Q, it gives me the quarter rest. If I hit H, it gives me the half rest. If I do shift H, it gives me the half rest. Half note, half rest. So it's very intuitive. With the eighth note, it's an E, eighth rest, capital E. And if you want paired eighth notes, they put it under the letter N, which makes sense to me. You can remember it because the beamed eighth notes look a little bit like the shape of a lowercase n. So there's that. And the triplets, you've got the quarter note triplets under T, and then the capital T is the eighth note triplets, and so on. If you want a full view of all the characters in this font, then if you can find what's called a character map online, it'll show you kind of a graph or a diagram of all the images within the font and what it corresponds to on your keyboard. So anyway, I'm going to delete some of this, and I also need a time signature, and I'm going to start with 3/4 time, and just by hitting the let's see, shift 3, there we go, that's 3/4 time, and I just threw a space in there just to make things look good. If I wanted bar lines, in this case I don't want bar lines because I want the student to draw them in, but if I did, then I would hit I don't know what this is called, but just the straight up and down line on your keyboard, which is kind of between the backspace key on your keyboard and the enter. So there's your bar line. So I'm just going to delete that, and I'm going to make a rhythm in 3/4 time. I'm going to put some space there. And let's see, let's put some eighth notes in. And I'm going to end with the dotted half note, which is the letter D. Add some space, and I will put the final bar line in, which is, I gotta think which button it is. There it is. It's the left-hand side of the bracket, not the in parentheses, but the bracket symbol on your keyboard. So there's that. Oops, this is the wrong direction. There we go. Okay, it's the right bracket. Okay. All right, so here is a rhythm, and the student then on their worksheet could put the bar lines in the correct place for 3/4 time. So I could go ahead and make this longer and do some more rhythm examples if I want to, or I could put it in a separate text box, make another one. Another rhythm idea that you could do is to make some measures that have the bar lines in, but then to put the wrong number of beats in the measures, and the student has to cross out the measures that have too many beats or too few beats. So just some ideas there. But that's how you use the MusiSync font. It's one of the most useful music fonts that I blogged about. Very easy to use. The other one that I mentioned is called Rhythms. So I'm going to make a new text box here, and I'm going to show you the Rhythms font. Once again, I'm just going to type it in because I know the name of it. And this one works very similarly. The Q is also for the quarter note. Let me make this larger for you. There we go. So you'll notice the quarter notes just have a slightly different look to them in this font versus the MusiSync one. And the time signatures work a little bit differently as well. Depending on whether you're using shift or not, you'll get the top number or the bottom number of your time signature. So for example, for the upper number, I can hit Control 3 and then hit 4, and it puts the 4 right underneath. So that's how that works. And actually, I think I'll do 4-4. So Control 4 and then just plain 4 for the lower number. And I'm going to make another rhythm example here. There we go. There's my bar line. These buttons are almost all the same. It's just the time signature works a little bit differently. Okay, and the N is not the 8th note for this one. And I don't remember what it is. So I'm going to avoid 8th notes for right now and put in a syncopated rhythm. And I'm going to purposely put too few beats in this measure so the student would be crossing out the measures with too many or too few beats. In this font, instead of the D for the dotted half note, you push the H for half note, and then you put a dot by pushing the period key. So there's just some slight differences between the fonts, and either one is, they're both very good. And let's see, I need a final bar line. Sometimes I forget where these are located. Okay, I think for this one you do the regular bar line with the up and down, and then you do the shift of the same key, and that gives you the thicker line. Okay. A lot of this I learned just from trial and error and practice. I'm going to make that a little smaller. So you can see the fonts just have a slightly different look to them. I'm going to put more space behind the dotted half note there. There we go. Okay, and then I'd probably have to do directions. I can copy and paste this one and do some more directions here. So these two fonts are by far let me type this here, measures with too many or too few beats. Yeah, I gotta make this a little longer. Alright, so MusiSync and Rhythms are by far the best two music fonts to use if you're making rhythm examples. It's very simple, very easy to use, and it's a lot easier than using your Finale program if you have it, and creating the rhythm in Finale, hiding the bar lines, and then exporting it as a graphic. This is just nice and simple and easy. So there's just a look at that. I hope this helps. I hope that you can create some of your own rhythm worksheets using this method. And then I recommend, by the way, saving them as a PDF. Just go to Save As. Keep your own DocX copy of this, save it somewhere, but then you can also do a PDF. And PDF is just a great way to share because it's so universal. You may also want to put your copyright at the bottom just using a text box. And this is just a really good thing to do so that if you share your worksheet with someone and you want them to be able to remember where it came from, if they have a printed copy and they want to be able to download and print some more, they know where it came from. So it's just kind of a convenience thing. And if you just do the parentheses with a small c and parentheses, the Microsoft Publisher will automatically make that into a copyright symbol. And now that I erased it, it's not doing it anymore, but it'll do that for you, and then you can put your year, your name, and your website if you want to, and whatever other information you might want. And I also like to make this very small, just unobtrusive. Sometimes I change it from black to gray, and then it's not too noticeable, but yet it's there to help out. Alright, so that's how you can make a rhythm worksheet. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll try to answer them. Talk to you later.